Emma Wren woke to the chill of silk sheets clinging to her skin. The candlelight flickered across the tall, ornate walls of the mansion she did not recognize. Her mind was a blank slate. "Where am I?" she whispered, her voice trembling. The echoes seemed almost to answer her, though the sound was too distorted to be human. She swung her legs over the edge of the bed, her bare feet brushing the cold marble floor. The mansion was silent, too silent, but something in the air pressed against her temples, like a presence just behind her. A shadow shifted near the arched doorway. Emma froze. "You shouldn't have come back." Her heart leapt. She spun around, but no one was there. "Who's there? Show yourself." "I am always here." The voice was soft, honeyed, and cruel, slipping into her mind as if it had always belonged there. Emma staggered backward. I don't understand. I don't even know who I am." "You forget too easily, Emma." The voice coiled around her thoughts. "You forget who you were and who you belong to." Emma's stomach churned. The room seemed to warp. The walls breathed, shadows crawling like living things. She shook her head violently. "No, this isn't real. You're not real." A hand, pale and translucent, rested on her shoulder. She screamed, but no one came running. The hand pressed harder. The whisper was almost a caress now. "Oh, but I am real. More real than your own thoughts. And I've missed you." Tears ran down Emma's cheeks. Fear clashed with a strange longing. "Why are you doing this to me?" "Because you are mine, Emma, and soon you'll remember everything." A chill sank into her bones as images, fragments, flashed in her mind. A family she did not recognize, laughter that curdled into screams, a night of fire and betrayal. Her chest tightened. "Stop! Stop! I don't want to remember." "You cannot stop what has already begun. The house is alive, and I am its heart. You are the vessel." The walls pulsed, the candlelight bending toward her as if drawn by her fear. Emma ran, stumbling through endless corridors that seemed to stretch into infinity. The ghost's laughter followed, echoing in her skull. "You cannot escape, Emma. You've always been here. You always will be." In a grand hall, a mirror reflected her own face, but it wasn't her face. It was hollow-eyed, pale, lips twisted in an unnatural smile. Emma screamed, but the reflection whispered, "Welcome home." The candles blew out. Darkness swallowed her, and in the silence, the mansion whispered her name, over and over, until her thoughts were no longer her own. Emma woke again, not in her bed, but in a long corridor she didn't remember seeing before. The walls were lined with portraits of strangers, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. Some faces looked almost familiar. "Emma," the whisper slithered through the hallway. She spun, but the corridor stretched endlessly, a maze with no exit. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" she demanded, her voice cracking. "I want you to remember," the voice said, gentler now, almost coaxing. "You tried to leave, but the house does not let its own wander for long." Emma's knees buckled. I don't understand. Leave me alone." The portraits began to move subtly, eyes shifting, mouths twitching. A chill climbed her spine. She realized then the mansion was alive, and it was watching her, shaping her, twisting her memories. Suddenly, a door at the end of the hallway creaked open. Drawn like a moth, Emma walked toward it. Inside, she found a grand library. Dusty tomes lined the shelves, and in the center, a journal lay open on a pedestal. Her hand trembled as she picked it up. The handwriting was her own, or at least it seemed so. "Dear Emma," it began, "if you are reading this, it is too late. The house remembers everything you have tried to forget. It will not let you leave. It is not just a building. It is a hunger. And I am its voice. I am the one who loves you enough to consume you entirely." Emma dropped the journal, backing into a shelf. Books tumbled around her. No, this isn't real. None of this is real." "Reality is what I make it," the voice purred from everywhere and nowhere. "You will see, you will understand, and then you will belong." The shadows in the library thickened. They pressed against her skin like cold fingers. Whispers overlapped, fragments of voices, memories not hers, secrets she couldn't place, but somehow she knew they had been hers once. "I don't belong here! I don't!" she shouted, running toward the nearest door. But the hall outside had shifted. Every exit led back into the mansion's twisting corridors, walls bleeding candlelight that smelled of smoke and decay. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall, pale, faceless. It raised a hand, pointing at her. "Emma." The voice cracked, sounding almost human now, almost desperate. "You are mine. You've always been mine." She stumbled backward, tripping into a spiral staircase that led down into the bowels of the mansion. At the bottom, the air was thick, warm, suffocating. A single candle flickered, illuminating a pool of water. Emma glimpsed her reflection, but it was wrong. Her eyes were black voids, her mouth stretched in a smile that was not her own. "You see?" the voice whispered from the water, from the walls, from inside her head. "You were never meant to escape. You are the heart of this house, as I am, and together we will be eternal." Emma sank to her knees, shaking. Tears streamed down her face. "No, please, I don't want this. I'm not yours." "You cannot fight me," it said, almost tenderly. "But you can join me. Give yourself to the house, Emma. Let go. Let it remember through you." She screamed, the sound bouncing off the stone walls, but the mansion only hummed in reply, a low, droning song of possession and hunger. And as she screamed, a terrible truth settled into her bones. She had been here before. She had always been here, and the ghost was not just haunting her, it was her, and she was it, and there was no escape. Days, or what felt like days, passed, though Emma had no way to measure time. The mansion's corridors shifted while she slept, or thought she slept. Mirrors reflected not herself, but twisted, smiling versions of her own face. Whispers followed her, calling her name softly, then cruelly, then in voices she once loved. "Emma, come closer." She shook her head violently. "No, stop it! Stop calling me!" "I can't," the voice said, smooth and intimate. You belong here. You are part of me, part of the house, part of eternity. She stumbled into the dining hall. The long table was set with a feast she didn't recognize. The silverware gleamed unnaturally. A shadowy figure appeared at the far end, sitting in a high-backed chair. "Do you remember, Emma?" the ghost asked. I don't. Her voice was raw, breaking. "You tried to run, but the house is patient. I am patient. You belong to me." Suddenly, the chandelier above shattered. Crystals fell like sharp rain, slicing through the air. Emma ducked behind a chair, shaking. "Why are you doing this?" she screamed, clutching her head as whispers burrowed into her skull. I don't even know you." "Oh, but you do," it whispered, almost tenderly, yet cruel. "You remember everything you want to forget. The nights you cried alone, the screams you thought no one heard, the guilt, the fear, the choices. It all belongs here now, with me, with us." Her knees gave out and she collapsed on the cold floor. The walls began to drip a black, viscous liquid, the smell of decay filling her nose. The portraits in the room now twisted, mouths opening, eyes staring, whispering secrets she had never spoken aloud, but somehow they were hers. "You see," the ghost said, circling her like smoke, "I am not your enemy. I am you. I have always been you. I am what you tried to hide, and hiding does not work in my house." Emma sobbed, clutching her head, screaming silently into the growing darkness. Her mind fractured, memories bled into hallucinations. She saw herself as a child, alone in these halls. She saw lovers she had never known, yet felt love and betrayal as though it were hers. The ghost leaned closer. Its voice became a single, unbearable note inside her head. "Give in, Emma. Stop fighting. You are mine." Emma's vision tunneled into black. When she opened her eyes, she was standing in the grand hall again, staring into the mirror. But this time, it was not her reflection. It was the mansion itself, walls breathing, corridors writhing like veins, shadows moving as if alive. The ghost's face appeared within the glass, grinning, whispering, "Now you remember. Now you belong." She screamed, and for the first time, Emma felt the truth. The mansion had not trapped her. She had always been part of it. And the ghost, the whispering, laughing entity, was no stranger at all. It was her. The walls hummed with triumph. The candles flared. Emma's scream echoed, fading into the mansion's song of eternal possession. And then silence, until the next visitor arrived. Emma woke, or thought she woke, but the bed was gone. She was kneeling on cold stone, the ceiling impossibly high, the chandeliers dangling like grotesque pendulums. The mansion had changed again. It had no beginning, no end, only corridors folding into themselves like some living nightmare. Emma, the voice was everywhere now, in her ears, inside her skull, in the shadows that writhed at the edge of her vision. "Please stop. I can't," she whispered, tears streaming, voice hoarse. "I don't even know what's real anymore." "Stop. Please stop," she cried, pounding the floor with trembling fists. "Why do you resist, Emma?" The voice coiled around her thoughts like smoke. "I am you. I have always been you. The house is nothing without us, and you are nothing without it." Suddenly, the portraits began whispering in unison. "We are her, we are her, we are her." The air grew thick, almost liquid. She stumbled backward, and the walls began to bend inward, the floor tilting like a ship at sea. Shadows lengthened, twisted into hands that reached for her. She screamed, clutching her head, and in that instant, the ghost appeared fully, tall, faceless, yet impossibly familiar. "Look at me, Emma. Look at yourself. We are the same. Stop running from what you are." Emma fell to the floor, sobbing. "No, I'm not. I'm not." "Yes, you are. You always were. You tried to hide it. You thought you could forget. But here, in my house, the truth survives." Her vision tunneled again. She saw herself walking through the mansion as a child, alone, hearing whispers that promised power, love, and fear. Then flashes of adults she didn't recognize, accusing her, punishing her, loving her, blurred into one chaotic storm of memory and hallucination. She tried to scream, but the sound caught in her throat. The mansion pulsed, its corridors contracting, the air thickening like molasses. The ghost leaned close, its whisper a rasp in her mind. "Give in, Emma. Let yourself be remembered. Let yourself belong." Her knees hit the cold floor. Her hands clawed at the stone. She felt herself breaking, her identity splintering. And then she saw it, a mirror suspended in the air, stretching across the entire hall. She forced her gaze into it. Her reflection grinned, and then it spoke. "Welcome home, Emma. Forever." The walls hummed, shadows danced, whispers multiplied, and Emma's scream became part of the mansion itself, a new echo in the endless corridors of the house. Somewhere in the dark, the ghost laughed, and Emma was gone. But her eyes watched from every shadow. Her voice whispered from every wall. Wait for part 2. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. And those who already subscribed, thank you. This is part 2 of the previous one named Whispering Halls. The mansion had no sound now, except for Emma's heartbeat. Or maybe it was the heartbeat of the house itself. She wandered, or floated, through corridors that bent and twisted in impossible angles. Every door she opened revealed another version of herself, pale, hollow-eyed, whispering her own name. Emma. This time, the voice didn't come from the shadows. It was the shadows. It was the floor, the walls, the ceiling. It was her own thoughts turned against her. She tried to scream, but her mouth was no longer her own. When she clawed at her face, it melted beneath her fingers. Her reflection in a nearby mirror smiled at her, but not her. "Do you remember now?" the ghost, or herself, asked. Emma dropped to the floor, shaking. I can't, I am not, Yes, you are. You have always been me, and I have always been you. The house remembers everything, and now so do you. A cold wind swept through the halls, and the portraits lining the walls screamed silently. Emma felt herself unraveling, memories, fears, guilt, and joy collapsing into one overwhelming torrent. She was no longer sure where her mind ended and the mansion began. "Please, stop. I don't want this." "There is no stop. There is only belonging." She stumbled into the grand hall, the same one she had feared before. But now it was different. The chandeliers bled light like molten gold. The floors pulsed beneath her feet. And in the center, a mirror stretched from floor to ceiling, showing every version of her that had ever existed or ever would exist in the mansion. "Look at yourself, Emma. Truly look." She fell to her knees, gasping. Her reflection spoke. "I am you. I am the house. I am your past, your future, your fear, your longing. You are nothing without me." A terrible clarity hit her. The mansion had not trapped her. She had never truly been separate from it. The ghost had not invaded her mind. She was the ghost. Her mind screamed, then laughed, then dissolved. Her body collapsed, but she felt herself stretching, twisting, merging into the walls, the shadows, the air. She was no longer Emma Wren. She was the mansion, and the mansion was her. Somewhere far away, a door opened. A new visitor stepped inside, and in the shadows, a familiar whisper curled around their mind. "Emma welcomes you." The walls pulsed, the candles flared, the house waited. And in its heart, Emma Wren smiled. Ghost POV. I have waited. Always I have waited. I am the house, and I am its memory. I am the shadow behind the walls, the whisper beneath the floorboards, the chill that coils around the spine. She woke, and I watched her, this fragile, quivering creature who had wandered too close to what she could never truly escape. I caressed her mind first, gently, like a mother tending a child. She didn't understand me, of course. How could she? Her mind was weak, fragile, full of half-formed thoughts and forgotten fears. But I knew her. I always knew her. When she screamed, I leaned closer. Yes, scream. Fear sharpens the memory. Fear opens the doors I want her to see. I showed her glimpses of herself, fragments of her past. I wove lies and truths together so finely she could not tell them apart. Oh, how she resisted, how she cried, how she stumbled, how she clawed at the cold stone as if she could scratch away what I am. I love her. Yes, love. But love is hunger. Love is control. Love is knowing someone so completely, their mind, their heart, their terror, that nothing else exists but the shape you have made for them. Emma Wren, I love you enough to consume you. I watched her struggle, watched her try to flee from me. How sweetly she ran, how her pulse quickened, how she pounded the walls with fists that could never break me. And every step, every thought, every scream only drew her closer to what I always intended. I am patient. I am eternal. She will forget the world outside these walls. She will forget herself. Her mind is fragile. I can feel it splintering, memory unraveling, identity dissolving like smoke in my halls. Each hallucination, each whisper I send, every shadow I twist into her vision is a thread, weaving her into the house, into me. She believes she resists. She cries, she shouts, she thinks she is fighting me. But I am her. I am her fear. I am her sorrow. I am her hunger. When she falls to the mirror, when she finally sees herself reflected in the endless corridors, I am there, grinning from within, speaking words she cannot resist. You are mine. And then she understands. Her scream becomes my song, her terror my pleasure, her mind my domain. And at last she is mine. Not a guest, not an intruder, not a visitor, never that. She is part of the house. She is part of me. I am infinite. I am eternal. I wait in the shadows, watching, whispering, remembering every visitor, every fear. And when a new soul crosses my threshold, I will greet them, I will call them, I will teach them, as I taught her, that they too belong. And I will wait. Always. I am everywhere she fears to look, in the shadows that cling to her ankles, in the faint chill that slips under her skin, in the soft sigh that escapes her lips when she thinks she is alone. She cannot escape me. She will never escape me. I whisper her name in ways she cannot ignore. Sometimes I am soft, almost gentle, almost kind. Other times I am a serrated edge in her mind, tearing at her sanity. Oh, how she flinches, how she trembles. It is delicious. I remember every moment of her life that she has tried to forget. The nights she cried in empty rooms, the laughter that turned bitter in her ears, the fleeting warmth of love she could not hold. All of it is mine now, and all of it will become hers again. I toy with her. A door that wasn't there yesterday creaks open. A corridor stretches longer than it should. A reflection in a mirror smirks when her own face is blank with terror. Do you see me now? I ask. She flinches. She tries to look away. She cannot. Her fear sharpens me. Her resistance excites me. Every attempt she makes to flee, to hide, to forget, only pulls her closer to the truth. I am her, and she is mine. She doesn't yet understand it, but she will. I feed on her confusion, her disbelief. I plant memories, fragments, shadows of what was and what never was, until she can no longer tell the difference. A child crying behind a locked door, laughter turning to screams, faces she cannot place. All of it echoes with my voice.
I am patient. Patience is eternal. I watch her break, slowly, exquisitely. Her thoughts fray at the edges, her mind splintering, her reality twisting. When she stumbles into a mirror and sees herself reflected, not as she is, but as I am, I feel her understanding bloom. Yes, now she remembers. I am her past, I am her fear, I am her longing and her regret. I am the walls, the shadows, the air she breathes. She is nothing without me, and she will soon be everything with me.
I let her scream, I let her run, I let her claw at the walls, I let her believe she is fighting. But the moment she stops resisting, when her mind opens fully to me, I will claim her utterly. She will be mine, and then she will become me. I am the house, I am the ghost, I am the memory, and now she is part of me forever. The next visitor will arrive soon. I wait, always, patiently, hungry, loving. I whisper, Emma welcomes you. The walls pulse, the air shivers. I smile. Emma walked through the halls, or maybe she didn't. She no longer felt the cold stone beneath her feet, yet she could feel every echo, every heartbeat of the mansion vibrating through her. The corridors stretched endlessly, yet sometimes folded back upon themselves in ways that made her laugh softly, though it was a hollow, uncertain sound. I am here. I am always here. She can feel me now, not as an intruder, not as a tormentor, but as a rhythm pulsing inside her. We are one.
Am I still me? She whispered. You were never separate, I said, my voice both hers and mine, soft and infinite. We have always been the same, and now we are free in ways you cannot name. The mirrors no longer reflected her alone. They reflected the mansion, her mind, her memories, and 1,000 impossible versions of herself, moving, laughing, whispering, all at once. Some were afraid, some were curious, some didn't care. She realized she could step through the mirrors, walk into the rooms that didn't exist, float through hallways that had never been built. The house shifted for her, became fluid, alive, but no longer threatening. Not exactly.
I don't know what I am anymore, she said. Nor do I admitted, and that was true. I had been a ghost for centuries, feeding on fear and memory, and now I felt strange, untethered, neither hungry nor empty, of presence and absence at once. The chandeliers shimmered, the walls pulsed, and the whispers continued, but they were soft, playful, teasing. They invited questions instead of terror. Emma laughed, or maybe I laughed through her, and the sound didn't echo. It simply existed. There was no victory. There was no loss. Only the mansion, endlessly shifting, endlessly alive, and us, an inseparable, strange harmony, neither human nor ghost, neither prisoner nor warden. "Do we stay?" she asked, though she didn't need an answer. "We go where the house goes," I said, and we moved together through rooms that should not exist, corridors that had never been built, into a world that was neither inside nor outside. And the mansion waited, patient and infinite, for the next visitor. But this time, there was no fear, only curiosity. And a whisper, our whisper, echoing faintly in the shifting walls. Welcome to something new. Thanks for listening. Comment your thoughts. Tell us what you feel about this story. Like and subscribe. Thank you who already subscribed.